Manitoba Electronic Music Exhibition. Do you think space monkeys will ever rule the world?
I think they're already here.
It's your host, Amanda Nichols from PSTP TV, and this is the final cut, Meme Episode 4. We are closing out Meme 2013 with interviews from Drumspyder, Desert Dwellers, Noah Prad, and Nathan Zahn. It's all here on Prosper Street. Drumspyder is a percussion expert specializing in the Mediterranean family of instruments. He captivated dancers and spectators alike with his hip-shaking rhythms and on-stage performance. How are you enjoying our Manitoba Electronic Music Exhibition?
I love it here. The music is excellent and the hotels are excellent. The accommodations are first rate, and it's quite a change from Shambhala, which was out in the woods getting dusty and sleeping in a tent right next to a sound system. But here everything is like back to civilization. I love it.
So how does your style reflect your personality?
I think primarily in that I just can't stop playing drums and I can't stop banging on things, and it reflects my just relentless whacking on the drums, and everything just sort of built around that. And I just love the part of music that I love most is the rhythm and the connection with the dancer. So
what is the biggest misconception about the electronic music scene?
I think it is I'm not one with a really global map of the electronic scenes. I don't speak for anyone here. I think the thing that that we producers always sort of have a chip on our shoulder about is that when drugs come up and people say like, oh, this is good on drugs, or this is good when you're stoned, this dubby stuff is great when you're stoned. You know, we as musicians who spend all this time working and composing all this stuff, we're just like, no, it's not drug music. It's not that, you know, and I mean, personally, I don't get all sort of worked up about that myself. But I think it is maybe the biggest sort of miscommunication between people within the electronic music scene and the sort of general public reading CNN about the latest like thing where kids are doing ecstasy and all that. And so
When we finally caught up with Noah Pratt, these were his thoughts on electronic music.
I think there's a bit of a trend where it is sometimes the smaller cities that put the festivals together, the better festivals, because they don't have the year-round club industry where they're maybe, a bit more inundated with talent. So there's a need to create a festival in order to bring that sort of talent in. And what's great about having a festival like this is I think it really galvanizes a community around it and brings people together for a common cause. And it's just, I notice real difference in scenes that are built around that, where you have people who are working together more so than perhaps competing with one another. So you have a lot of people who first started going out to techno parties in the 90s and now they have kids and they still love the music, and that's a testament to the value of electronic music. It's not just a passing fancy that people go out and party for a couple of years and then they're done with it and then all they listen to is country or soul or whatever. You love all kinds of music and still love techno and what it offers for many years to come. And it's great to see the kids around, especially when they have proper hearing protection. I moved to Berlin 2 years ago, and things are changing here in North America, but electronic music has always been stigmatized on this side of the pond and really had that tag of being drug music, which maybe it kind of is, but like you say, no more so than rock and roll, really, fundamentally. I mean, if you love techno, you're going to love it when you're not on drugs, and it's useful in all kinds of non-drug situations. But in Europe, it doesn't have the stigma at all. And whatever kind of music someone's into, it's not viewed as like this lifestyle choice that you're into electronic music. It's just what everyone does on the weekend. You go to clubs and dance to techno. I mean, it's not like, it's not viewed as like this subcultural affiliation that defines your character in some way. It's just assimilated into the larger culture in a way over there. But I feel that the stigma of it being so strongly associated as drug music is slowly changing here. But it's been a struggle to overcome that, especially with the older generations who really don't get it or whatever. It's a way for them to try and explain to themselves when they can't understand it, I think. When I first got into electronic music, I was already playing guitar and bass and writing music on 4-track recorders and playing with bands. But I already had this idea that, you know, everything that you could do with a guitar had basically been done since Jimi Hendrix, right? So until someone reinvents the wheel, until there's something other than a guitar, it's already reached that pinnacle. So what can happen next? And then I discovered electronic music, and it really struck me this notion that electronic music had the potential to continue evolving as long as the technology did, which is borne out in some cases. I mean, I feel the technology is evolving far more rapidly than people's ability to utilize it to its fullest, which is a minor disappointment I have when I hear a lot of music these days. That, for example, we do have this sort of retro fad in house and techno right now, where it's like, yeah, those old records are great and they're worthy of emulation, but it's also a way of justifying not pushing the current technology to its limitations. And I think there's a lot of untapped potential there. And you know, it's enabled so many people to make music, for better or for worse. It's changed the entire industry, which would be a whole lecture or whatever. So it's a double-edged sword, really. You asked, I think, how much it's given and how much it's taken away, and I'd say, yeah, a lot of both.
Whether on the stage or behind the scenes, Nathan Zahn, local Winnipeg artist, is a true electronic lover. Nathan contributes to the electronic heartbeat of Winnipeg. In between producing, promoting, and organizing Meme, he spoke to us about electronic music in Winnipeg.
Well, one thing for sure is we like to make Winnipeg a destination. For example, there's a bit of a circuit. People who are really keen on this music will travel great distances, and we're in a position now where people could come from Saskatchewan, Alberta, the Dakotas, Minnesota, and even farther than that. So I think that over the next couple of years, we'd like to see Winnipeg be a place that people want to come to Winnipeg to be here. Opening up for Funk the Void was pretty exciting. He's quite a legend and really talented, and I really wanted to set the stage and do the best I could so that he would be inspired to do his best. And I have to say, he posted on his Twitter last night, he said it was his best gig of 2013, and he was really impressed with the whole package. So you have a lot of people coming from around the world here who are performers, and I think they're surprised by the quality a small city like Winnipeg is pulling off. This festival, we actually started it 4 years ago, and I said that personally, at least, I'd want to make the 10-year anniversary happen, and I think that we're going to find ourselves using the Cube, but probably doing a free event at the Forks in Winnipeg, because we have an opportunity to use the new Human Rights Museum as a beautiful backdrop to the party. So that's sort of a medium-term goal, is to transplant this, or maybe do both and make it a bigger event.
closing out Manitoba Electronic Music Exhibition with an epic finale were Desert Dwellers. Veterans to the electronic music scene, they have traveled the world making people not only dance, but move. Desert Dwellers infuse their electronic bass music vibe into the sounds of yoga, tying worlds together and creating a genre of their own. Innovators, creators, and visionaries, Desert Dwellers.
Just like the sort of eastern half of North America seems to be really coming to life right now with the sort of tribal festival culture. And it's actually really exciting because it's kind of innocent and it has a fresh energy to it. So it's actually really awesome.
Basically, like what we're into is what I'm into was an accident that it became popular. I've always been into world music, and that's always what I put into electronic music. So the fact that now it's surfacing as something popular is just kind of good timing. It's something I'm always going to be doing in my life, even if it wasn't popular. So it's just good timing, really, for us. Yeah.
Well, we have so many different influences, from down-tempo and psychedelic chill-out music all the way up to full-on trance and techno and everything. So like, I think keeping it fresh is just keeping an open mind to various styles of music and just being into putting them all together as one, and just it always helps just having an open mind to it. I've always felt like the frequencies that are used in electronic music is unique, and it's the reason that it sort of creates that trance-inducing experience for people is the various frequencies that are used. Otherwise, you know, it's an open environment. People feel like they can loosen up and be themselves, and I think that and the lack of words, there's not always singing in the music. It's not like you have to know a certain language. It's a universal language that's in the music. So I always have the same advice for people who want to get into music in general, which is to just do what they want to do and not do what they think they should do or what they're told they should do, because that's not going to be fulfilling. You know, you have to express. I think that right now you have this craze of pop music that people call EDM, electronic dance music. But people who know this music from many years back and people who know where it came from know that and electronic music culture in general are two completely different things. And one is pop music in general, and one is actually what is electronic dance music. And just because music is made electronically doesn't mean it has anything to do with the culture that was created for many, many years before pop culture and the mainstream decided that it was cool. And I'm sorry it took them 30 years to decide it was cool, but you know, it's actually much cooler, and you just haven't figured that out yet.
It's your host, Amanda Nichols from PSTP TV, and we are here at the Cube in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Now, exhibition grounds look a little different when they're all covered in snow, but soon the snow will melt and the curtain will rise at the Cube, drawing Winnipeggers to the yearly events that are held here, including the Winnipeg Comedy Festival, the Winnipeg Jazz Festival, the Winnipeg Fringe Festival, and of course, Manitoba's Electronic Music Exhibition. Plans for this year's meme are already underway, and an amazing lineup is coming together, including Kevin Saunderson, Spy from Cairo, and Downloaded. For up-to-date information on Meme 2014, go to memetic.ca. Also, follow Prosper Street Productions on YouTube and Facebook. It's your host, Amanda Nichols. I'll see you next time on Prosper Street. Okay, so it's finish the sentence, and I'm going to say the sentence, and you just finish it. Okay?
Okay.
So, I dream of.
Being healthy for as long as I can be.
My weirdest habit is.
Hanging out with this guy.
My pet's name is.
Molly.
In high school, you were.
A nerd.
Still is.
I can't live without.
Music. I'm sure everybody said that.
And the person I look up to most is.
The Dalai Lama.
Thank you so much, guys, for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Part of this.